Is that in the
Fly
chat?
Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Hello, everybody. It's Friday. Hey, listen, this has been a good week, and we're going to continue it with this Friday. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. And today we're talking about a topic that could shape the financial future for our communities, and that is AI, artificial intelligence. Political commentator Van Jones recently said that AI is the closest thing to reparations that Black people are going to get. And we're here to unpack that. Now, there's a lot of ways that we can access these tools, but are we really using them? Are we at a disadvantage for what's going on? We've got an expert panel here of queens, and we're going to discuss it all. My royal court today is Marye Dean, Esquire at the WallStreetLawyer.com. We have Yolanda Spivey, insurance broker to the stars. We have Micah, the creator, expert digital marketer, and AI instructor. And Lala Key, your singing international real estate agent. Y'all, it's Friday, and we're going to get into this now. I'm going to first tell y'all right now, I'm not necessarily a big old fan of Van. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep my bias on the down low a little bit, but I'll also share why I feel that way. So listen, this is not the first time that we've actually talked about AI, but we haven't really talked about it in this manner of equalizing the playing field for wealth and creation and business growing. I would absolutely love to hear if you guys are using AI in your business. If so, how? And that goes for our family. Listen, we want to hear what you're doing out there in our family land with AI. So, Yolanda, are you currently using AI in your business or personally?
I certainly am. So, in addition to becoming being an insurance agent, I'm also a writer. So I do use AI for copywriting purposes, just to make sure that my grammar is correct and everything like that. So yes, I utilize AI. Hmm.
I have to say I do too. I absolutely love it. I've used it on so many different ways. I've helped it for design.
Yeah.
I've done, I've created an AI twin. I do all that. And I also teach courses for real estate agents to teach them how to use it in their business. So I'm not against AI. I'm not at all. But Micah, you are our AI expert, so I know what your answer is, but I'd like to know how you got into AI, and it seems to be a very big passion of yours, darling. So, what piqued your interest about it?
Honestly, I think for me, what ended up happening was I ended up stepping into a highly loaded marketing role, and there was no way that I could fulfill it without the help of AI. When you do digital marketing, there's so many different areas and aspects of it. And so there were areas that I was strong and areas that I was weak. And then sometimes dealing with a lack of access to, like additional experts in that area because of, what they cost. So I absolutely had to utilize AI to fulfill my role and just to make sure all the jobs got done.
And it seems to be getting better and better every day. So yeah, a lot of people are using it in that business as well. Marye, you're our attorney. You're, in the legal profession. Are you using AI at all in your profession and in real life?
Oh, I love it. I love Claude. I love Gemini. I love ChatGPT. They're all work for me now. And so I treat them as employees. And so I've started to use it as a paralegal. Pretty much, it kind of uses a paralegal role, so I don't have to use my paralegal as much. So I like to use ChatGPT to draft letters. I use it to draft sometimes templates, and again, so probably how you guys out in the real world use it to get your legal documents. But I'm a lawyer, so then whatever it cranks, that's how I know it ain't perfect. but but it is a nice skeleton and template to start with. And so I do use it for those purposes. I also really like to use it for captions for social media, right? So I'm doing this, come up with this. So especially because I'm definitely not a social media expert. And so to have someone to kind of help me create those captions, I think that's brilliant. So yeah, I love it.
What I love is all of us queens here we're the first. We use it and we share how we use it. I think there is a place for everything. I mean, every time something new comes out, people kind of freak out and they think it's going to take over the world. It's going to take people's jobs. They thought that when the first computers came out, right? But here we are utilizing them every single day, and now we carry mini computers with us everywhere we go, right? Like, this is nothing but a mini computer. But listen, we have a video and I would love to get your thoughts on that. We're going to check it out, but I'm going to look at the comments here. Are you guys using AI? Are you guys using AI? And we'll discuss that after this video.
We're going to get.
Yes.
Van Jones, defend that statement, sir.
Well, first of all, we ain't getting nothing. so even 1 micrometer closer to beyond nothing is I win. Okay. But what's the next best thing? A fair shot. AI puts us at even Steven. You may not have gone to the fanciest school in the world, but right now you can have ChatGPT on your phone and you don't even have to be able to write. You can literally just push the button and start talking, asking questions, and you can, for free, now if you want to throw a little bit more money in, it'll go faster, but for free, there are tools that will have you functioning at the level of somebody who did get the 4 years of college, who did go to the fancy high school. I'm not saying it's going to happen in 1,000 years. I'm saying that's today, right now. Get it on your phone and fool around with it.
You said AI is the closest thing to reparations Black people are going to get.
I don't agree with Van, and let me tell you why I don't agree with Van. Reparations is one thing, education and things that are deserved for what has happened to us in the past that the government has already paid for before with other groups of people. Those are two different things. So that is my thoughts on that. And I would love to hear your thoughts on that, Yolanda. Do you agree or disagree with Van on his stance? Can't hear you.
I definitely disagree with him. How can you equate reparations, something that a group of people have gone through, we went through some suffering with AI technology, as if that's a payback, because everybody's going to be using the AI technology. That's number one. Number two, Van Jones is bought and sold, okay? Bought and sold. Jeff Bezos, whatever his name is, done gave this fool $100 million to do whatever it was that he wanted to do. I think that this is some way of him being a puppet for them to say certain things in order for us to, I don't know. But anywho, he is bought and sold, which is why he said those words. It doesn't make any sense. And another thing, why the hell is Van Jones the AI expert? Like, what made him the AI expert? Why are people asking him about AI? You know what I'm saying? So I thought he was just a social commentator like the rest of us. So why is he even speaking on that? But anywho, that $100 million is him saying what they want to say. Yeah,
Hello, my name is Van Jones.
correct.
Ha,
A
ha, ha.
straight up puppet.
Give
Straight up
me money.
puppetry.
I do what I want with this money. Listen,
Yeah,
he actually
exactly.
said he was going to put it into prison reform. We'll see what he does.
I
But
don't
all
think
I
he's
know
going to
is
do
when
that.
someone gives you that much money, you're beholden to them for whatever they want you for. Yeah, I have to agree. I think
Exactly.
he's bought and sold.
You're going to
But
be
Mary,
saying
I
what?
do. I know, Mary, I do want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you agree with Van? If you do, why? And if not, why not?
He's saying that it's the closest thing to reparations, and I guess it puts us on an equal playing field. I think he's giving AI too much credit. That's like saying degrees is our reparations, and while they are nice, and while they have truly, truly helped me in my life and my career, I will give it that. It has given, Black people are always looking for ways to boost us up to level. That's part of why we spend so much on our dressing and our appearance, because we are trying to level. We're always trying to level the playing field. It's the reason why Black women have the most degrees. It's the reason why we are the most educated, because we're always trying to level that playing field. But I just think that, me, I'm a soulful person, and the true repair that we need is in healing on a soul level, and getting, and like I said, Black people have melanin. Melanin is magic. It gives us the ability to open the heavens and get whatever it is that we need. It's the reason why they bought and sold us, because melanin is the most expensive traded market on the black most expensive traded commodity on the black market. Everyone knows this about us. It's why they're in awe of us. They want to watch us. They want to listen to us sing, and they want to watch us dance, and they want to see us. They're in awe of our godly given talents expressed, right? So if there's any true thing that is going to give us our reparations, it's coming straight from the heavens. It's the last will be first, the first will be last. And so I would never give that much power to AI and some machines before I would give that. The most power is to the man and the soul of man and the soul of the Black man. That's, we're going to get our reparations by any means necessary. Power to the people. No.
And but I know we joke about it, but honestly, the government likes to turn a blind eye. Like they don't turn a blind eye to the other cultures that they've paid for. So, why are we any different? Other than the plain fact that it's pure and simple racism. Booker Williams says, yes, every day, meaning he uses AI every day, and it saves me money on things that I paid for on Fiverr. Now, I've used Fiverr many, many times. So I have to say,
Booker. I know Cory Booker. No, I know him. We went to high school together.
I love it. I love it. And then Black Lexicon says, I've been attending as many as possible micro AI conferences to understand the bigger picture, map the trends, and to become familiar with the micro pieces that are driving the current usages. And Dr. Vibe says, I am using AI from content creation. For example, I'm using AI to create 10-second promos that I run during my live shows. And I'm happy to say I'm a part of that as well. So I also am with Dr. Vibe. And then we have the people are asking Dr. Vibe, what programming you use? And like, you see, people are really interested. So there is a lot of people who are agreeing that, that they're using AI, but they're also saying that Van doesn't represent them. And Deborah says, Van doesn't represent me and mine. And then Black Panther says, oh, Van doesn't want to see Black people receive reparations. And then, of course, we have our beautiful Dr. Lene. We love you. We miss you. And listen, my question to you, Micah, is just a little bit different. Because we know that you use that, and we use it every day. However, do you see any disadvantage for our community when it comes to learning AI? He talked about, Van said in his video, we walk around with our phones, we can use ChatGPT, but I honestly, not every one of us in our community can afford a simple phone like that in order to use ChatGPT. So do you think that this is still a leveler of the playing field?
In some ways, yes, but if we are comparing it to what reparations actually does for people, then no. right?
Mhm.
So as far as it's definitely leveled some things for me. And as much as I love what I do with AI and how much I've been able to accomplish and the reach and things like that, I still think about the fact that I'm like, you know what? It seems like I'm kind of like behind and a lot of people are, when it comes to the ability to have access to education required for us to have ownership in these AI platforms, right? It's like, when and where was that memo passed out? And I realized that there were levels of access missing, that if we had proper access to, money and finances and things like that, we probably would have been in those institutions, in those rooms, because I never heard of things like this until it started coming out in the news. But clearly other people did, because there's AI generated, softwares out all over the place. And we're
another
using
form of good old boy network, right?
Right.
Listen, they just moved the game to a different platform, y'all. So listen, we're gonna take a deep breath. We've got everybody talking in this chat. Keep it coming, keep it coming. We love to hear what you got to say. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
And we're going to talk about it when we know that we can uplift our communities. So make sure that you go to flynubianmoney.com and take advantage of those free resources. Listen, Booker Williams says, yes, it's a great equalizer, but we still need those reparations. And Black Lexicon says a big tsunami wave we call AI has not hit the shores yet. Its full girth is still being built. Yes, I have to agree with that. Dr. Vibe says AI saves money and time. Remember, time never lost a fight. I actually like that. And I have to agree, because when it like, look, I can type 120 words per minute, y'all. I can. I've been doing it for a long time. That's what I had to do to graduate from my little mini college, right? When I was learning the Wayne computer, right? But I love being able to put into ChatGPT so that it can help me with, hey, did I miss a comma? Should I put a semicolon? Things of that kind of formatting I absolutely love. And I love that it's being incorporated into so many software platforms already, Word and Excel and things of that nature, even Canva, which is about 80% of my time is spent in Canva for design, right? So with that being said, listen, I'm 55 years old. I came along when the revolution was just switching over to people being able to have computers in their home. I learned on a wing, but the week after I graduated, Microsoft Word was out. Okay, the whole Microsoft suite. So Yolanda, how can adults who didn't grow up with tech catch up and benefit from AI?
I think they are. Like, I really do, because it's a really easy thing to use. Once you download the program, all you do is type in what you want and you get what you want. So I think that they're already utilizing everything. As long as they have either a phone or a computer, they have access to the net, they're able to utilize those services. So yeah. I mean, I've seen older people utilize AI. People in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, they're using AI for many. Some are even using them for like conversation because they're lonely, like,
Yes,
so
yes.
yeah, and I see a lot of people doing that. So I mean, I think AI is very user friendly, so a lot of people won't be using it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that. I mean, my mother-in-law is one of those who, even though she's in her 80s, she's very excited to learn new things. And she texts, she sends pictures, she does all these things. And whereas a lot of her friends that are the same age don't do that at all. So she's just one who's always been naturally curious. And I see her using AI maybe to help her get her grocery list together. Like she's
Mhm.
pretty excited about that. But Marye, how can Black communities ensure they have ownership and control over AI innovations?
That's a good question. Because I guess I thought you were going how to make sure they have control over their work product that they use AI and innovations for. But I guess it's the same with everything. You want to make sure that you have your business entity in place first. And once you have your business entity, then you want that business entity to control the trademarks, trademarking, protecting the brand, that they control the intellectual property. If you have a patent, the business should own the patent. The business should own the trademark registration. The business should own the copyright registration. So that way you have an added layer of liability protection on top of your intellectual property protections. So yeah, and then agreements are huge, right? Agreements are huge, right? They protect you in the deals. A lot of people are, oh my gosh, I was watching the new documentary on Netflix about the hip hop queens and some of the founding women of hip hop who do not get the same recognition as some of the founding men in hip hop. And then they had bad deals. So they didn't even get any money at the time that they were owed at the time, right? And so whatever you want to do at this point, we have too much technology. It's right at our fingertips. You can get a contract off the internet, okay? And you can read it. And the thing about agreements, I will tell you, I'm giving you this free game from the wallstreetlawyer.com. But the thing about agreements is you just want to make sure you have them, and simple is better. You don't have to have a 25-page agreement, right? Only put in there what's necessary. But the boilerplates help you to understand what's necessary, but customize. Remember to add your own language. Remember, make sure you're agreeing to every little point. So we're going to do this, and we're going to put it. And what you really want to know is we're going to put in what, and what do I get, and when do I get it? Are there certain dates and deadlines? But yeah.
I agree with that so much, because even in real estate contracts,
even if you can't get a whole agreement together, an email and text messages help. Those are that's still in writing, so that helps too. Okay.
The only thing that's wrong with that.
Go ahead, Yolanda.
Say this. Only thing that's wrong with that is when you download AI software, you waive your rights to everything. You waive your rights to your intellectual properties or anything that you create. So that's the problem. Like, I wonder, how can we get around that? Do we have to create our own AI platform? Because when you download,
you lose your rights on what?
Read those, the bottom line, you lose everything. Like if you use your image in AI, they have the right to use your image as they see fit.
Right, I get that, but that's not saying you lose your rights. That's something you're talking about, the reverse of it now. You lose your rights to what? If I use
my face in AI, right, to create a picture.
I get that. That's something
right?
different.
So they can reuse my face as many times as they see fit within their program. So that means that they can use my face to I don't know, to create something for someone else.
No, I understand that.
Say I want my face to be used in that way. I want my face.
Okay, you know wait. So I understand that, but let's let the expert Micah answer that, because Micah is in this thoroughly. And yes, I understand law, and then yes, I understand. I get you, Yolanda. I get all of that. I understand that
when you download, because I've read some of those things, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you can't. oh wow, so they have the rights to this. I can't
But
sue
I'm
them
not.
if they do this. You know,
But
so
wait, we're not letting Micah
go ahead,
ch-
Micah, take it
cut
away,
in.
sis. Do your thing. Do your thing,
So
sis.
Micah, I'm going to throw this ball in your court, and that's a big ball that we've just thrown you. But you use more than one tool. I know you do because I'm in your club. So I know. So explain to us when it comes to things of that nature, our rights and what we're putting in there and the output. What power do we have over what we're feeding into these AI platforms?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. It seems like it's like the ball is still out there on that, right? So laws and legislation, all types of things are changing each and every single day to figure out how do we better protect users, how do we better protect, people who are in entertainment, and it hasn't been fully regulated, right? I did see something the other day where I believe like it became against the law in California to produce AI content, right? That was like the replica of an entertainer, right? So we have that. I'm currently in talks with the Hollywood agent that was featured in Forbes recently about protecting my AI image, right? Because he has kind of diligently worked to try to protect the image of an international fashion model, which is how he got inside of Forbes. And I was like, okay, like I could definitely use your help. So we're trying to see if we want to work together, now. And either way, regardless of what laws are available or not, he was still able to successfully be able to do that. So I think right now, it just kind of comes down to each and every, individual person being responsible for protecting like their own images and their names and the rights to be able to use it and things like that. You just kind of, it's just like with we have to file trademarks on stuff. We have to file copyrights on stuff. Those things give us the right to be able to, take things to court. And I think it's going to kind of come down to the same thing with our images. It's, even our music and stuff. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't give you permission to use that. These are the bylaws of my company. This is what you have to go through in order to work with my intellectual property. And I'm going to stand up. And I absolutely will not allow you to take these things and just use them as you wish, regardless of what company you are. A lot of the things that we use, of course, they already place it inside of their terms and conditions that we must give them the right to use our stuff. But that doesn't mean that we can't fight back against it.
But that's where we get the disadvantage. That's where we get the disadvantage. That Vans is. Let's bring it back around to what Van said, y'all. Van is saying this is reparations. Who understands copyright? Who has the trademark ideas? A lot of our people don't understand this in the first place. So this automatically puts us at a disadvantage. So I think I'm proving the point that, Van, you are smoking crack. We are still at a disadvantage. Mary, go ahead.
Okay, because I think when I was speaking, it seems like my comment and everything was taken out of its context and it's shifted into another direction. So I feel like I need to clarify something. When I'm talking about you protecting your intellectual property and the content that you use AI to create, then whatever is that you create, you own it. And then you can trademark and protect your work product. Now, if you upload your picture to ChatGPT, just like if you upload images to social media, just like we're putting our images right here on YouTube, right? What kind of ownership do I expect to be able to have over that when you're giving it up freely? Right? When you're giving it up and you're participating, there is some type of I'm agreeing that you can use my face and image by me putting it up here. I'm agreeing that people may take this video and chop it up and repost it. I understand that. I understand that's the risk that I'm using to put my image and be in this space that I'm in as we speak. And so I think that that's the kind of mindset that you go into AI with. you understand that if I put my image up onto this public, very public platform, that they may use it. And they have told you that in their terms and conditions.
And they have done that.
Yes. And so if you don't agree with those terms and conditions, you don't have to do what? I don't have to put my face up on. I use ChatGPT and Claude and stuff all the time to help me make money in my business. I ain't never uploaded my picture. I ain't gave them that.
But it's more than just an image, though. I mean, it's also the material, like, you know, our books, our people are putting things in there with not reading those terms of service. It puts us at a disadvantage. It's not just on our photos. I mean, it's our song lyrics. It's everything we put in there. But listen, this is so good, and I want to keep going. But we got to take a quick break, y'all. Got to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I know. You're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Like, how can we, in your opinion, make sure, especially with all the work you're doing with the AI Ethics Council, I mean, you're literally sitting there talking to folks like Sam Altman, who's leading these charges, but how can we make sure that just black people don't miss out on this gold rush? Because while there is a lot of disruption happening, there's also a lot of opportunity in this too, right?
Yes. Look, to quote my brother Van Jones, 99% of black people don't know a thing about AI, but 99% of white people don't know a thing about AI either. We're all equally discriminated against. And the folks who are really going to get a hit that there's to be hard, not impossible, but hard for them to recover from quickly, given their standard of living and their burn rate on living expenses, are those in the professions, white collar professions, whose job is going to go from hero to zero in no time flat. The first thing that corporations are using for AI is reduction of costs. They haven't figured out how to make money on it yet, but there's two ways to make money: make more, or you spend less. They're trying to spend less. Well, if you can knock out entire chunks of $100,000, $200,000 salaries, that's an easy decision, particularly when you think your competitor's doing it. Like, people think that these capitalists are just cruel and unnice people. There are some cruel and unnice people. Most people I meet who are capitalists or business owners are just the most decent people on the planet. They're trying to survive just like you.
Okay. Well, Micah, I really love him. I think he does speak good business. And I will say that a lot of times we always hear the negative and we never hear the good, right? Because negative gets the most attention and the most engagement. So a lot of the times we're hearing the negative and not so much the positive. But Micah, I want to touch on something that you mentioned to us about mind cloning. Can you please tell us what that is and why that's a big issue right now?
Okay. So basically what mind cloning is, mind you, a lot of our intellectual property already goes into like ChatGPT, Claude, for example, right? However, there are smaller companies emerging to kind of say, like, let's pack this a little bit more. So I'll give you 2 examples, right? So we have and I'm not going to name these companies purposefully, but one of them, for example, you'll take, all of your videos, scripts, books, data, information, all of it, right? And you'll upload it into there in order for you to produce copies of like AI agents or just like smaller chat boxes or whatnot that work like AI employees. They will make decisions based off of the information that you've uploaded to help to go to work for you every day. Another example of this is I can take, my thought process. And mind you, my chat GPT, I've told people this, my chat GPT is underneath 4 layers of passwords because I know the value of the information that is in there. And God forbid I ever got hacked or lost, right? But I can take all of that information, put it into another software program, along with my voice, along with my video, like we're doing now. And let's say someone is paying me for a consultation on AI or digital marketing. If I don't want to show up, I can send them directly to this clone of me, and they can pay to have a video conversation with me, and everything inside of that mind bank or whatnot will talk back to them all of the information. So I don't even have to be there. And I'm not surprised by things like this because I know I heard like even several months ago that CEOs were getting like really worn out and tired from having to respond to everybody all the time, from being the one to have the meetings and lead the meetings, and people were constantly contacting them for pointless conversations. And so consultants started coming forth and they said, hey, let's resolve this for you. Let's go ahead and clone your mind with AI, right? Let's get all your decision-making processes, all your intellectual property, what you would do inside of, each and every single type of scenario. And instead of us sending the employees directly to you, they need to go talk to your AI clone first. And that's where we're at. And then lastly, I think that where the slight danger in that is, right, is the smaller companies are not really regulated when it comes to your data. Who's collecting this stuff? Again, like I said, I know the value of the information that I have, right? And I don't want it just laying around anywhere. So yeah, I put it in on the front end, but who's to say who's looking at that on the back end? What's
Exactly.
happening?
Exactly. So that brings me to another question. But first I want to address, Dr. Lene said, that's crazy. Then why do I need the CEO after I get all of their mind value? Exactly. Right. This is, and then Miss Poetry in Motion says, this is horrifying. So I can understand both sides because listen, my husband is a true musician. He was born, he played piano from the time he came out the womb. He writes, he researches, we perform, we do everything. And for places like Spotify to train their systems to not pay the artists and then create AI artists, why do you need the real musician? Why do you need the real CEO? But Mary, you come from a legal part of this, and I want to hear your thoughts on how we balance AI's benefits with ethical concerns about automation and jobs.
I saw this. I went to this CLE one time. This old Caucasian man. Be politically correct. He's the corrector. Caucasian man. This old Caucasian man with lecturing. He said, it was very interesting. And he said, we as lawyers, we have to be on the forefront. And it's our job to see where the trend is going and to kind of look around the corner and see what is needed. And so what I will say, what is really needed, the whole system of boilerplate agreements should be modified. That's where the problem is, because it's your company. You can do what you want to do. We as citizens, we're all adults. We are grown-up people. We too can do what we want to do. We can contract to do whatever we want. For me, the problem is, are we unknowingly giving away rights that we don't know that we are? And that's where I have issue. I take issue with that. I think that as long as you know what you're doing and you know where you are, then you can make the conscious decision. But we're not even given the opportunity to consciously decide if it's a boilerplate. If it's I agree. Just give me the $5.99. Okay, now I can get started with this AI because everybody say I'm behind. And that's where we are. And that's what scares me more than anything. And then but I remind you when they say, well, why do we need the CEO if we have this, if we've cloned their mind and now we can jump it in a machine? But you cannot, there is no substitute for a human, for a soul. I'm sorry, it is not, because the soul can adapt. There are times where you don't get to think, yes, we can have cars that can drive themselves, but sometimes it's jerk reactions. This thing, it's something on the road the car didn't see. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. I don't know. It can be anything that happens, right? Where a human and the soul of man is going to come in and do things that a robot is not going to have the intuition to do. So I don't sleep on the human potential. And that's why I say we still win. While these tools are great tools, we have to understand they're only tools to help maximize what's in the human, the soul of man. And so do not get lost in ChatGPT, please. Use it as a skeleton if you're out there using it, but don't let it be everything there, because there's nothing that the soul of your husband playing his instrument will never compete with the robot with no soul, baby.
I agree with you, Mary. I agree with you totally, because when I think of AI, right? When you utilize AI to write something for you, for instance, you can hear it doesn't sound like it has a soul. It sounds very generic, very bland, very, whatever. But what I think is going on too, I think AI is also studying humans, especially Black people, because it's like they throwing crack into the Black community, okay? And then we just go in the boxes and start smoking it, okay? So AI is almost the same thing. They threw AI at us, and now we're utilizing it at a higher rate. And they're taking some of our ways of being, and they're studying it, and they're incorporating it into their programming. So that's why sometimes when you do speak to AI, they know how to speak back at you, like, hey, girl, because they're studying us just as much as we're utilizing the programs. So,
I find that very interesting, Yolanda, because let me tell you something. I have mine trained to talk to me the way I want to train. When it sounds too stiff and too vanilla, I go, I need you to give this to me as Lala's soul sister tone. Give it to me. And it gives it to me exactly the way that I want. Listen, we gotta have a break. We gotta have a break. I don't want a break, but we gotta have a break. We'll be right back.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
Every time we say reparations, somebody panics like we just asked for their entire inheritance. But here's the truth. This country has already paid reparations, just not to us. And not just once, multiple times. So let's stop acting brand new. Reparations are not about guilt. They are about debt. America's been in the red with Black folks for over 400 years. And it's not just slavery either. It's everything after. Stolen wages, stolen land, the GI Bill we were locked out of, the homes we weren't allowed to buy, the neighborhoods we were pushed out of. My grandparents in Virginia had a big house. They built something themselves. They held it down. But do you know what's there now? A highway. Because the government decided that their land was disposable, but convenient for development. And we're just one Black family amongst many more. Reparations is not some favor. It's the bare minimum for a country who made Black struggle policy. Economist Dr. William Darity crunched the numbers. To close the Black to white wealth gap today, 14 to 17 trillion. That's just to bring us even, not ahead, just even. So let's compare.
She's, oh yeah, who was just right. Now listen, y'all, before we get back into this, I must interject myself by saying, you know what today is. Today is Blackout Friday. We do not shop or spend our money in any places that don't really honor our money or really see our money as valuable. We have been doing this all year. I do it every single day, but we understand that there are some of you that live in communities where you don't have a choice but to shop at certain things. But on this day, we all stand together and we keep our Black dollars in our communities. So if you're still with us on that, go ahead and drop that Blackout Friday in the comments and let us know that you are still participating with us on that. Micah, we just heard about the systematic inequalities that are out there. So how do we prevent AI from reinforcing these inequalities instead of solving them?
You know, that's a really good question. From my understanding is that we need more of us on teams that are directly involved in the development of AI, right? Because there are technologies that are being developed by people that do not think like us and are not us. And, you know, AI is taking information, right? And so from what I understand a lot of times too, it's becoming, well, it's been bias, right, towards us and against us. And so how we end up getting, you know, into those spaces more, you know, I'm not really sure, you know, if more legislation needs to happen around that, but it absolutely, you know, that needs to take place.
I agree. And I think that we get shut out of those rooms of discussion. Listen, we do have some stats, and I normally do those a little bit earlier in the show, but this has just been such good conversation. But I do want to look at some stats, y'all, because it's more than just saying it. Let's look at what the numbers say. According to McKinsey, AI could create 13 trillion in global economic activities by 2030. A Brooklyn report shows Black workers are 2.7 times more likely to be in jobs that could be automated without proper upskilling. And 59% of Black adults report lacking access to high-speed internet, a critical barrier for AI learning and opportunities. The World Economic Forum predicts AI-related skills could impact 85 million jobs globally, creating both risks and opportunities. Yolanda. Oh, got one more. Only 4% of venture capital funding for AI startups goes to Black founders. Well, okay, Yolanda, let's get back to the topic at hand. Van is saying that the closest thing to reparations that Black people are going to get is AI. With these numbers, with these facts, knowing that AI is also biased and also we're not in the creation rooms, how do you see reparations being equal to AI leveling the playing field?
I don't see it. I personally do not see it. I mean, we have to understand reparations is just not about money, okay? It's also a mental thing. We have to be made whole psychologically, physically, spiritually, in all kinds of ways that AI is not going to give us at all. It's not going to solve the problem at all. And another thing I wanted to say, as long as we live under the system of white supremacy and domination, white inferiority and domination, they will always select, as they did with Van Jones, who they want to earn money, who they want to, put a shine and a spotlight on. They will always have that selection. Okay. So we have to, I feel, fight in a different way. We should demand, we don't ask for reparation. We should demand reparations at this point. Yeah. And part of the reparation package should be for our people to sit on those boards as they develop new technology going forward for this world. That's what we should be asking for. No, demanding. Sorry, we don't ask, we demand. That's what we should be demanding that they do, so that we can also have a playing field in this as well too.
What I've never understood, and I do understand how I don't understand and do understand and know the real answer, is how the government will be quick to give reparations to other groups and still continue to overlook us. Now, Anonymous says, and Anonymous, you are always big on reparations. You know, you always come in and talk to us about regulations, and we're talking about AI as well. And I have to agree with you. He says, you can't make demands with no power, baby. I agree that one too. But he said, we also need government regulation. Listen, Mary, how can we demand this of our government when it comes to reparations and also regulations of our rights for education and things of that nature? Can't hear you.
Okay, I repeat. I really do like this topic. I really, really do. And I think because I stand on the fence about it, right? Because on one hand, I feel like I don't expect my enemy to give me anything. Right. I don't expect my enemy to do anything. I don't expect that. I expect the enemy to always be my freaking enemy, right? I expect you to want to rape him and take. I just expect you to be, the snake is going to be a snake. But I think if you want to be my friend, which they do, because America, the Black America is the flavor. If all Black people picked up all of our toys and came off the playground, America would be so bored. She would pull her hair out. Okay. She's slithering. She gay. All the things. And so, you know, they do really love us and they do really want to play with us. And I think maybe we should demand that respect. And if, you know, and we do have power. When you think about it, if we took all our toys off the playground, no one would play. They would not want to play. It would just be bland. It'd be mayonnaise. And they know this. They know this, right? And so maybe it is something that we should rally. And maybe this is the beginning, this actual live on today, October 10th, on this Blackout Friday, where we say, you know what, this is a cause that we could devote some real time and attention to. How are you going to repair us? What are you going to do to make us whole? And it's not foreign because you did it with A, B, C, and D. And so if you have done it with A, B, C, and D, and now and you know I'm the real flavor. You know I'm real mother. And so maybe now it's time to respect mother. And I think that we are in this, you know, and it's so, and I've been one of my friends who, you know, who thinks that it's not widespread knowledge that we are the Black Americans are the real Native Americans, the Indian. So the Plymouth Rock didn't land on you. You landed on you didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on you. All of the things, right? And so all the other races are now starting to acknowledge that Black mother is mother of all of us. So maybe it is time for the Black woman and the Black man to say, you owe us. And if you want to still play with us, you need to do right by us. So we're going to take all our toys off the playground. I'm here for it. What y'all talking about?
We also have to train our children to not seek so much pleasure. That's another thing. You know, I was just on a post on Facebook today. Somebody was saying, oh, you know, my son, you know, he's 6'3". The first thing they want him to do is play basketball. And I said, that's messed up because my son was like stocky when he was younger. The first thing they were asking, oh, you're going to put him in football? And I said, no, my son likes chess. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't part of the chess club. He wanted to use his mind, you know? So, you know, I think that we should stop training our kids to seek pleasure and really tell them we're at war. We are at a futuristic war right about now, about what's going to happen to us in the future. And we've really got to train our kids to be in those boardrooms and also in places where they are creating the technology as well. We have to train them to want to be there and not just run a mother plucking ball down the lane somewhere. That's what we have to
Well, that's
really
the
do.
first they think about that, isn't it? It's always the thing. That's all we can do. They
Yeah.
never, they always, and I've said this a million times before, and I ain't the only one who said it. They always want everything from us but the struggle. And when you really sit back and think about that, it is the truth. At some point, we have to rally our own selves before we can rally the troops all together to understand that your power begins with you. Stop
Does.
undercutting yourself. Stop underestimating yourself. Know that you walk in power and know that your knowledge and you are young, gifted, and Black, and you can walk into that power just as big as those big white corporations in any room. Carry yourself for who you are, you king and you queen, and you carry yourself accordingly. Now, listen, this has been a very hot topic. We have discussed a lot of things, but it is also time for us to wind down. And we absolutely love all the comments. I'm seeing them. I'm sorry I can't get all of them in, but we acknowledge you talking to us. We agree with a lot of you. You've brought up great points, so we appreciate you. But it is time for final thoughts. And Micah, I am actually going to start with you. And this is a question for you, the audience, and this will be the question for all of us as we leave out. What would be on your list of reparations? What would level the playing field for you? And then please tell us where we can find you.
Okay, Lala, I'm gonna be really honest, right? Me personally, I actually don't want anything. I've spent a long time just kind of ignoring things. Do things affect me? Absolutely, they do. But Mary said earlier, I don't expect anything from my enemy, right? And so I am busy trying to work and maneuver my life around the things that are going on. And I never forget the actual fact that we are a nation within a nation. And at the end of the day, it's really kind of up to us, honestly, to get organized and redistribute things for ourselves. Lastly, I can be found at www.herpayday.com, where I teach AI on a weekly basis to help you grow your income.
There you go. There you go. You need to learn something new? You got Micah, the creator, at herpayday.com. So don't say you don't know where to go, because we just told you where to go right there. So we appreciate you being here today, Micah, and giving us all your insight on the AI world and what you're seeing, and also teaching as well. We really appreciate you. Yolanda, what would reparations look like for you? And what would you want in your reparations list, and where can we find you?
Yes. So reparations, for me personally, I agree with Micah. I don't want it like that. I want it collectively for all of us as a whole, for everyone. I remember there was a Caribbean leader. His name was Sir Sidney. I forgot, Sir Sidney St. James. But anyway, he wrote a whole entire list of what reparations entail. And most of it wasn't just about money. It was about making Black people whole physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I love what he wrote. If I can find it, I'll probably try to put it out there on my website so you guys can read it. But anywho, I don't expect anything at all at this point, because we keep getting gaslighting, saying, oh, we're going to, they'll talk about it and then they'll pull it back. They'll talk about it, pull it back. So at this point, reparations, I don't know. So anywho, you can reach me across all platforms, Yolanda Spivey. I'm an insurance broker. If you need some insurance, give me a call. My website is mwhitney.com. We can insure everything under the sun for you, even your pinky toe. So give us a call. And one more thing, separate or die. That's all I have to say. Separate or die.
All right. If you got that little toe or that little pinky or this little voice, you know who to go to. Yolanda has got it for you. And, insurance is not just for the dying, y'all. It's for the living. So please make sure that you reach out to Yolanda so that you can get to living, right? Because there is power in that. Mary, What does reparations look like in your world? And tell us where we can find you.
Okay. Let me take a deep breath. You know what? To me, what I would love for reparations more than anything is for the man, the Caucasian man. We want to be politically correct. The Mr. Caucasian man. I would appreciate him to just acknowledge what he did wrong and why he did it, and for him, I think when they say that the black man was the original man and that all race of people and all religion and all of everything come out of the black woman, and when that we are different and melanin makes us magical, and they were jealous of that, and that we have soul power and that gives us superpowers. And but I want them to say it, because every documentary that they say it, every time that they say it, we believe it more. And so to me, any type of real repair is when someone says, you know what, I'm just jealous of you. Okay, well, I can't kill Abel. I'm just, because I can't and you are able. And I've tried to every chance I could to show and tell what you could not do, because I knew that if you knew that you could fly, you would fly higher than me. And if they gave us that, then we would fly and we wouldn't need anything from them if we knew who we really were. So, Marye Dean Esquire here. You can find me at thewallstreetlawyer.com, proud founder of blackwallstreet.com, because Black wealth is critical to Black power. It's important for me to help you make sure you acquire your Black power, recognize your Black power and your Black money by maximizing that Black power that you have within. That is my mission, and that's what I'm here to do.
I don't think we ever have to question Mary's mission. Not at all. She brings it across. She tells you up front, and you can feel it around the corner before she comes. So if you need that, you need to make sure that you head on over to her website so that she can help you. All right. Now, listen, here's what I want. I want what was promised to us. It may not be 40 acres and a mule anymore, but just a half an acre for anyone would allow you to build your wealth. It would allow you to build a place of learning and education. It would be a place for you to gather and have family traditions. That is yours. We could build communities within communities. I still feel that land, not just education, but land is the most powerful thing that you can have to build upon outside of your sound mind. So that's what I would want for us, because I think that it's only fair. When you stole us from the lands that you took us from, you took our land, and we need land to settle upon. Now, listen, I have something really fun right now, and the holidays are here. Speaking about getting together, I know people are stressed out. You got Halloween, you got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving and Kwanzaa. I have this wonderful guide that I put together. It is 90 freaking pages to help you stay balanced during the holidays, to help you stay clear, help you say no if you need to say no to certain things, and it gets lots of bonuses. But here is the kicker. If you buy it from my website, laurakey.net, and you have a business, I'm going to put you on my Black business directory, and I will be sending that out every week to my database so that your business can be seen up to December 2nd. So go to my website, laurakey.net, and order the holiday bliss. That's what I got for you. Now listen, because I love holidays. Holidays make me happy. I don't care what nobody says. I love me some holidays. Now, today we have seen that AI isn't about just technology. It's about opportunity, access, and empowerment. Now, Van Jones points about AI being the closest thing to reparations is a call to action for our communities. But we must learn, adapt, and take control of these tools to build the generational wealth that we need. Let's ensure that Black people are not just consumers of technology, but creators, owners, and beneficiaries. Stay informed, stay empowered, and keep investing in your future. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Please remember that you always can catch us Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch us on Spotify if you miss anything. But if you want to be notified, all you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948, and you will get a notification as well, right? I can say that in my sleep, y'all. I know that number in my sleep. But y'all have a beautiful weekend. Be blessed and peace out. We love you.
Slavery could never have existed in this country and been maintained without the full participation of the American tribes. That's why they started calling them civilized rock, because they began to say, you quit hunting in the woods and running wild and get yourself some land and get yourself some slaves. So Indians became slave hunters, slave traders, and they got benefits from it. And that led to, going back to the earlier question you asked me about reparations. And even after the Civil War ended, the Choctaw and Chickasaw was still holding about 12 or 15,000 slaves even after the Civil War ended. The United States government sent in troops saying, you got to get rid of this slavery and set black folk free. And they set up what's called the 1866 Indian Treaties with these 5 civilized tribes, which says that black people in this country must not only turn them loose, they must get benefits. They must get forms of reparations, set them free. 2, you must give them an option, and this is for all black freedmen and all blacks who lived in the Indian Territory and all black Indians. You must set them free, allow them to have membership in the tribe, let them have access to all the resources on the reservation. You must let them also be tax exempt. You must let them have free education, give them $150 in cash. You must give them 160 acres of land. And in present day time, those black Indians under the 1866 treaty should be getting, they could also hold gambling casinos. Now this country has never carried out the full mandates, but yet we are still honoring it for Indians. Right now, all the benefits that Indians are getting in this country are getting it from the 1866 Indian Treaty, because they took up arms against the United States in the Civil War. They wiped out all previous treaties. Now every year in the White House, we get about 560-some white Indian chiefs, which in history they call $5 Indians, because 90% of the people call themselves Indians nowadays are not really Indians. Those are whites passing as Indians, because they paid $5 to the Dawes Commission to get their name on the Dawes roll so they can get all these advantages. Every year they get invited to the White House, and every year they got an approximate $3.5 billion every year, even that Obama's been in office. They got money into the Federal Indian Bureau. Now see, if you were to talk about reparations, black folks have been getting all this money all these years too, but they got shut out because the Indians in 1938, they sent a letter to the Department of Bureau of Indian Affairs saying, how do we shut black folk down to make sure they never get any reparations? That letter floated around in the federal government from about 1938 to about 1941. Then it went to the Secretary for the Department of Interior, and the Department of Interior looked and says, said, how did I come up with a scheme to shut down blacks so they get no reparations in this country? He said, what you do, you Indians come up with a new concept called the quantum blood law, which says that black folk are not entitled to any of the benefits of the 1866 treaty in terms of reparations unless they can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they got 1/4 Indian blood in them. And we make Indian blood sacred like Jesus Christ's blood. And therefore, they've been shutting blacks out all these years. That's why they didn't get any reparations. You go back to your earlier point. And the last point on reparations, you asked me earlier about a blueprint. This country's always given reparations to all groups except black folk, even though black folk were the ones who built the country. They built the bridges, they picked the cotton, they built the highways, they built the government buildings. They were the backbone of this nation.